Okay, so this is going to be second chapter of the book, The Navigator Who Crossed the Ice Walls. Second chapter is called Custodians, the Custodians. After such a phrase from the captain, we finalized details and agreed on a departure date. It would be November 14th. His mysterious partner, Fint, as he introduced himself, would also join the team. My boat would be ready even a month before. Those were days of much anxiety and little sleep, a lot of reading and meeting with the team about the trip we were planning. We fantasized about the most incredible adventures, but reality was about to surpass any possible fiction or imagination. On November 12th, just 2 days before leaving, Finn, Butler's partner, showed up at my door with another man who looked even more mysterious than him, all dressed in black and with a strange accent. He told me it was urgent, and I made them enter my home. Finn had a briefcase which he opened as soon as he entered on top of a table. Inside there were many documents, and among them he took out a kind of ancient manuscript and began to recite a part of it. Then by demand, I subscribe in major importance, hereby desire of our lords, that the doors of knowledge be closed to those who refuse to be part of our glorious path and liberties. Granted. The text went on for several more lines, and then at the end, the so-called poem Regius. I don't know that word. Maybe I'll look it up a little later. But let's see. At the end, the so-called poem was recited. As soon as he finished his reading, I commented that it seemed that he was in some kind of annotation, right? It was then when Finn commented, "Exactly, comrade, precisely. Those who did not pass this annotation are the marginalized, marginalized. Better said, we are the marginalized. Fint, I demand, please explain a little. I am not understanding anything. What does this text mean? And what does it have to do with our trip?" "Look," Fint commented, "I am going to explain a little of the situation. This manuscript belongs to the Custodians, as we call them, or as they call themselves, the sun gods. And they found out about your trip through Butler. The high spheres are aware of it, and it does not make them happy. This manuscript raises that they will not let anyone leave these lands by demand of the lords. The situation could not get any worse. An adventure that was already risky enough due to the harsh weather and everything that could happen to us due to natural events. Now we were adding these unknown enemies. Who are the Custodians?" I asked. Finn went around in circles with his strange friend. Finn went around in circles, and his strange friend opened his mouth for the first time, interrupting. He commented that these Custodians were not happy about our trip, and that was the only thing they could tell me. Finn then suggested that we should cancel it, that it wasn't worth risking our lives. He said it was a threatening tone. That's when I then invited them to leave my house immediately. His strange friend looked at me defiantly, and then they left. After a few minutes, I tried to communicate with Butler to ask him what was happening and commented on the situation of the strange visit. Butler never answered. Never that day nor the following ones. I gathered the emergency team to analyze how to continue. This travel plan was becoming dark and sinister, but an inner force pushed me to continue. The passage to the other lands was becoming even more real, but also more dangerous. We met with the whole team. Butler was not there. Nobody knew about him for weeks. He was missing. I told them the whole sequence about the visit of Finn and his partner. Also about the manuscript. Walter said he had heard something about the Custodians. But he was not sure who they really were, or if it was a secret organization. That's what it has in the books, the Custodians. It's quotation. The situation was not at all encouraging. Butler did not show up, and the plan without him seemed impossible to carry out. Besides the risk, it seemed to entail against an unknown organization that was chasing us without even having left port. We made the decision to postpone the trip again until we could find Butler. We would try again to find him at his home the next day. As expected, we were unable to find Butler, and the chances of the trip were being destroyed by the minute along the concern of the captain's whereabouts. The team also communicated with other known people and members of the naval force. Nobody knew anything about him. It seemed as if he had been swallowed by the earth. November 14th arrived, with the plan already canceled. Somebody knocked on my door, and to my total surprise, it was Captain Butler with provisions, maps, and everything necessary to leave. He commented to me as if it was nothing. "It is time to leave, comrade." I asked him as many times as possible where he had gone, and I also had to explain to him the strange last 2 days that the whole team had spent. He looked at me very coldly and commented it was to be expected. I had to hide for security and priority to protect the documents needed for the plan, especially this map. Quotations. While I was unfolding it on the table in my living room, it was huge. There was land I had never seen before. Butler ordered me to assemble the team and that we had to leave today. I asked him if he knew the Custodians, and he told me that there was a lot he had to tell. The story is not the one we were told, William. The creators of the pyramids and other races, as they also call them Custodians, have no interest in us crossing the South Pole. He told me that they found out about our travel plan via Finn, who had betrayed him, and that the trip had to be made today or we would never be able to make it. He also commented that we would have plenty of time later on to give more detail about all this once we were sailing. I hurried to gather the whole team. Once we were all together, we left the port of Charleston. We had a few stops before reaching the frozen areas of the South. Woo! Next chapter. Okay. I'll see y'all in the next video. Thank you.